Hi, everybody. Nice to see everybody here today. I'm Corey Nickerson with 8Z Real Estate in Louisville and Boulder, serving the area. And I am here today, very happy to be with Wendy Scipione with MPowering Benefits. And she's going to tell us all about this alternative health insurance, medical insurance that I am personally a subscriber to. And so I was very excited when Wendy agreed to interview today. We're doing Zoom because it is open enrollment and she's a busy lady. So we just are going to jump on the Zoom call and I'm going to ask a few questions and then we'll make sure our viewers understand what alternatives are there for them. And Wendy is an amazing resource. I've actually referred several people to her and she's always done a great job. So I know from personal experience. And so we're just going to have a chat here. And so welcome, Wendy. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Corey. I totally appreciate it. I want to just make one thing clear. I do help with insurance, but this is a non-insurance solution to
Okay,
healthcare.
very good distinction. I find
Yep,
myself tripping up on that a lot. So that's a
totally.
great distinction. I'm sure you're going to go into what that means here while we talk. Awesome.
Absolutely.
So why don't we just start real easy with, what you do, how you got into the business, if you care to talk about your background, but, give us an overview of what it is you do and how you can help folks.
Absolutely. So I have been self-employed my whole life. And in that, I kind of got terrified every time I received the letter in the mail about what my new premium was going to be
Mhm.
and, how I was going to pay for it and how much worse the plans got every year. So probably over 10 years ago now, I was working with a company called Empowering Benefits. We worked in the financial strategies world. The hardest thing to do in that world is to find new clients. When the Affordable Care Act came around, we recognized that there's going to be a need for assisting people on the healthcare front. So we went down that path. And within that, only a year later, we discovered some other options, better solutions in ways to take care of yourself, in case of a healthcare event, a bad medical issue or even the small stuff. So ever since that point, I've actually kind of put my heart and soul into helping as many people as
Mhm.
possible, educating people about, that there are other ways
Mhm.
to protect yourself in case of a healthcare
Mhm.
scenario.
With rising prices, that's super important. So
Yes.
what is your vision for help? How do you best help clients? What's your vision for the future? Are you growing? Are you happy where you are?
Yeah, so great question. My vision is truly to bring, healthcare, to make healthcare much more affordable. Kind of what I talk about mostly is we give people a lot more freedom, control, and flexibility in their healthcare choices. We allow people, not we, but like the way it's structured with the way it's created, it allows people to seek alternative therapies if and when necessary.
Mhm.
So it's really giving the power back to the people.
Mhm.
And that speaks to my heart for who I am and what I'm about. So it's growing organically, it's growing astronomically, just
Mhm.
because of what's happening in the kind of the traditional world. Um, it's making people out of necessity
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
have to look elsewhere. So, and
And
uh,
may I just back up a little bit and describe
yes,
what makes this model for health coverage different?
yes. So there's many different aspects to it. There's many different components, companies, but the basis of it, uh, it's basically giving people the ability to go into a hospital or doctor anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world for that matter, as a self-pay patient.
Mhm.
When you become a self-pay patient, you basically pay the cash price
Mhm.
for services. That cash price could be anywhere from 10 to literally 80% discounts
Mhm.
that I've seen, which is stunning.
Mhm.
When I first started this, I was like, oh my gosh, like, how's that possible?
Mhm.
And then I
Mhm.
went and did it myself, and I was like, "Oh, wow, this is insane. Like, here's the
Mhm.
cash price and here's the quote unquote insurance price. Like,
Inflated.
how is
Mhm.
this possible?" So in that, fortunately, we live in Colorado, and the beauty of being here in Colorado is they've created some regulations and rules wrapped around hospitals and providers. They actually have to create price
Mhm.
transparency now in the
Mhm.
last 3 or 4 years. So when you ask for that cash price, they have to provide that to
Mhm.
you.
Mhm.
Um, and again, this is available anywhere in the country, but it's even a little bit easier here in
Here.
Colorado because of that.
So how does it work? We all know probably more than we'd like about traditional insurance. We pay huge premiums, we pay sometimes large deductibles, co-pays, and finally, eventually, the insurance company will help us. It's quite a process. How is it different? What's the process for a member?
Yeah, so it's totally different. Number one, they're going to have unlimited access to virtual healthcare,
Hmm.
so at no extra cost. So they can literally talk to a doctor 24/7, 365.
Hmm.
They can get answers within 60 seconds.
Hmm.
On that platform, they have access to primary care doctors, behavioral health specialists, pediatricians, and women's healthcare doctors. So that's put in place for the small stuff. That's the stuff that people are going to use every day. The bigger stuff, which is why people get insurance, in case you have a major,
Hmm.
accident, injury, illness, functions differently. They're called initial unshared amounts. So there are different levels people can choose from. I always talk about kind of the most popular, best value for the money level. For the current memberships, things are changing all the time. But
Yeah.
as of today, that level is $1,000. So in a real life example, if someone is newly diagnosed with something like cancer, they're going to pay the first $1,000 of a cancer incident,
Hmm.
and then the community of members will share 100% of the remaining cost above that point. There's no cap on that.
Hmm.
So what that also means to, a patient is that's going to include literally all the costs associated with that cancer incident. So all the doctor visits, specialist
Okay.
visits, chemotherapy, radiation, physical therapy,
Surgeries.
x-rays, labs, yep,
Mhm.
surgeries, medications even. It's all lumped into that. So the member pays one time only. And then the other unique difference is instead of having to repay that now that it's suddenly a new year like we're used to,
Mhm.
if it's still part of that same cancer incident, that member pays that one time only. So it's pretty incredible.
So these are called health share programs. Is that accurate? So
Health
there's,
sharing or medical cost
or,
sharings. Yeah.
okay. And so
Yep.
there's several different organizations.
Yep.
They do they tend to be all nonprofit, or are there they're both for-profit and nonprofit
I believe
organizations?
they're all nonprofit.
Okay.
Many are religious based. Some are not. The ones we work with now are open to all people,
Okay.
and that's important to me just because I don't want to have to exclude people for
Right.
any reason.
Exactly.
So yeah.
So a lot of choices. So somebody could talk to you, you do an intake interview and sort of match. You're kind of you're a broker,
Yep.
matchmaker, figure out, help them understand what's a good health share program for them, get them
Totally.
into lower premiums, lower deductibles, and much, it sounds like, and I know this because I'm a subscriber, but much more flexibility, including, can I just add overseas, right? For the traveler,
Yeah,
correct? At least with some of the
that's
programs I've heard
beautiful.
of. Yeah, okay.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I love about it. Because literally you're not limited to like, oh, what happens when I travel outside of Colorado? What happens
Mhm.
when I travel outside of the US? I
Mhm.
needed this other, protection. No, you don't need
Right.
to worry about that. Yeah, it's good
Yeah, yeah.
everywhere.
No network, I think is that accurate in most cases? I mean, yeah, okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. So
Well, okay, great. And what is it? I know that we talked about Colorado. You talked about Colorado. You're
mhm,
in Louisville here as I am. And we're doing this to kind of serve our local community. I know you go
yep.
outside of that, but talk a little bit about, your sphere, who you
Yeah.
serve, and yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I feel like my local area is like perfect. I mean, the memberships are built for the ideal client is someone that's health conscious that really
Mhm.
wants to participate in their
Mhm.
health. And, we live in a place where people are outside, outdoors, doing, activities all the time, eating well. Most people around here want to do right,
Mhm.
by their
Mhm.
body and by
Mhm.
their community. Um, and we live in a place where there's independent thinkers and people that tons of self-employed people
Mhm.
that those are the people that really struggle with finding good healthcare solutions at an affordable rate.
Mhm.
So I love helping the small businesses and the individuals
Mhm.
and those people around here.
Yeah, that's what attracted us. My husband and I are both self-employed, and so that was a
Yeah,
big draw. And then our kids are out of the house now, but
yeah,
obviously these plans cover families,
yeah.
couples, and then I know the one I'm familiar with as a Medicare rider, I think, or something. That pretty standard across most of the health shares?
No, Medicare is
Or
for 65 plus.
yeah, I
Medic
thought, okay, and we can. maybe I
Yeah.
can address that, or I can
Yeah.
talk to you about that another time. I thought I'd
Totally.
seen something like that, but maybe I'm
Okay.
need new glasses.
No worries.
So what would you say is your most inclusive member package or program, what you would like to
Yeah.
talk about?
Yeah, we have one called Secure, and that does
Okay.
actually include a separate true insurance component, giving people compliance if they live in a state where there are some laws surrounding that still. It also gives people all of the Affordable Care Act compliant annual wellness visits. So most people are eager to, still have access to that. And it gives people the ability to fund a health savings account.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
honestly like giving everybody the best possible option for all things.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so it's pretty great.
Sounds like programs and plans are evolving quite
Always.
rapidly.
Totally.
Yeah.
All the time. And unlike, the regular traditional world, these plans are actually getting better all the time rather
Yeah.
than worse. And yeah, so
Yeah.
that's fun to see.
Yeah. Do you have an idea of how many potential, if you were just to look at all of the plans you have at your disposal, how
Uh-huh.
many plans do you have available to your
That's a
client?
good question. So I and yeah, and Empowering Benefits try to vet, all the companies, and
Okay.
rather than saying, here are 100 options,
Okay.
we try to limit it. So I
Okay.
really kind of narrow it down for people,
Yeah.
to three basic options, typically, on the medical cost sharing side, and then the insurance side. That's dependent upon someone's zip code and such. So it's
Okay.
different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, great. Well, you have a website. You want to tell us a little bit about what you can do on the website that you have, and we'll
Yeah.
publish this after after the video. We'll have a link to your website.
Awesome. Yeah, so my website is called joinmympb.com/Wendy.
Mhm.
That'll get you directly to me, my contact information. Um, and I'll just say it one more time because the letters. So it's
Okay.
join mympb.com. So M as in Mary, P as in Paul, B as in boy,
Okay.
.com/Wendy. And on there, I love to have people actually scroll down a little bit, under where it says, 50, I think it says save 50% or more on your
Mhm.
healthcare.
Okay.
Under that, click and watch the video. There's a nine
Okay.
minute video. It's fantastic. It's actually what kind of how I describe it to people when I talk to them.
Okay.
But people can pause that and really kind of absorb all of the different aspects of how it works, why it works, all the benefits they're going to get. So that's a super great way to go ahead and learn,
All right, so you can go to the
about it.
website to get self-educated,
Yep.
then reach out to you for, and I'll put a slide up after this video with your contact information. Would you have preferred email or how do you prefer to be reached?
Yeah, email or phone, either way is
Okay,
fantastic.
okay,
Yeah,
great. I'll just making my own notes here. And then I think,
perfect.
unless there's anything else you'd like to share, do you want to just sort of wrap us up?
Sure. Yeah. So one other thing that could be of interest for the right people, if someone looks at this and says, "Oh my gosh, this looks amazing," and I know a lot of people that might be interested in this, we have a super cool referral program. You can become an affiliate in essence and earn $100 for anybody that joins. Um, you know, per your referral. So, and basically the person referring doesn't have to do any work. All they have to do is say, "Hey, here's Wendy, here's my friend," and then I
Mhm.
take it from there. I do all the
Yeah,
work.
I've
So
gotten a few of those checks. Thank you, Wendy.
you're welcome. Yes, it's
So
super fun.
I
I
am
love
living the checks do come and
totally.
I've been always happy to refer to you. You do a great job and we're very lucky to have you in the community. And I'll just say real quickly, I met Wendy when she did a brown bag lunch several years ago at the Boulder Area Realtors Association. It's now Boulder Area Longmont Association. They merged. But it's a great, I was sold from the minute Wendy started talking about it. It just is a great option for lower premiums for your health care. And just it is as delivered, as advertised. It's hard to believe sometimes how good it is. So we want to make sure the
Totally.
world and our community has this resource. So thank you so much for helping explain what you do and more about empowering benefits and yourself and your background. And we'll make sure that following this, you have links to all of the pages you mentioned in the video as well. And I think we'll just say thank you and
Awesome.
happy weekend. Okay.
Yes, thank you,
All right.
Corey.
Thank you
Awesome.
so much.
All right, you bet.